welcome back to Angry River Outdoors. Today I'm going to talk with you guys about food prep for your trip out west, what I do and how I pack my stuff. I'm going to give you a little bit of e-scouting. I'm not going to go down too many different rabbit holes there. I could do a show every day on all the different things involved with elk hunting, but the e-scouting part, I'll give you a little bit of that, kind of how I break it down and look at it a little bit. I'll dump my pack and all my gear and what I take into the backcountry and my food. We're getting close. We're down to less than 2 weeks and we're going to be Wyoming bound, so getting pretty jacked up and getting all my gear gathered up, and figure I'd give you guys a look at it before I head out that way.
Hey darling, sleeping on the blacktop. Hey darling,
I'm just a traveling man, you see. Wherever this road goes is where I will be. Now catch me a ride on a boat to Spain. Tell a woman that I love her and forget her name. And I wish I could stay for midday coffee. And I just can't get this dreaming off me. If I could find me a place to rest my mind. But mama always said you'll be there in good time. There's some headlights burning down the highway, and I think that I may just hitch me a ride. 'Cause I'm a traveling man by trade, sir. We're all running from the things inside. There's a train heading west to South Toledo, and if the dogs don't sell me to sleep, I'll go. Dreaming as I'm steaming past miles of ground, through the souls and hymnals that built these towns. I won't stay too long, leave too soon. The best time for going is when the going's scary. There's some headlights burning down the highway, and I think that I may just hitch me a ride. 'Cause I'm a traveling man by trade, sir. We're all running from the things inside. There's some headlights burning down the highway, and I think that I may.
So I'm not going to go into great detail on e-scouting. I'm just going to give you a basic look at how I go on there and kind of get a good idea of where we're hunting, and where we want to set up, where the north sides are, where the elk might be hanging out during the daytime in the timber, if they have water around. Is it super steep? Is it not steep? These are all things you can find with cross-referencing from the Onyx Hunt on your phone, which gives you a great view, but you just don't get that realistic Google Earth view where you can tip it and you can actually see the slope of the hill, which is really, really key. So I try to do that. So we're going to type in, this is not the place we're going to, but I'm going to just kind of show you how I would go about looking at this area. I mean, as you can tell, so this is South Mountain, which is kind of really cool. I mean, you can really see like almost down to the trees. I'll really zoom in, but like you really can get a gauge on what you're looking at. You know, is there shelves, like there's shelves in this area that maybe the elk would want to sit on or lay on, and, you know, get up through this timber to get up to water or down to water. Those are the places that are going to hold the animals. So I think it's kind of neat to just be able to surf around, and, you know, once you pick out the area you're at, be able to see the terrain. Like, look how rocky that is in there, and then you get on this other slope, it starts greening up. I mean, obviously that's where the elk are going to be. Over to Bear Creek, look at this nice open top meadow stuff. Like, that would be really nice and easy to glass if I was going to go in that area. But it just kind of gives you a better view, and you can drop pins on here and, you know, zoom in and look at trails. Like there you can kind of see a trail down through there, so we're going to zoom in a little bit. Yeah, I mean, you can actually see the 2-track, whether that's private or public, I don't know, but I mean, pretty crazy. And, you know, this is all stuff, obviously it is a little bit different in, you know, in the actual, when you get boots on the ground, it looks a little bit different. But if you look at this all the time and, you know, just get that memorized in your head and just keep looking, things will look pretty familiar once you're out there and to navigate around some of this stuff. So it's definitely worth your time. I mean, I spend a lot of time e-scouting. I'll plan out my routes that I'm going to hunt in and hunt back out and everything else, you know, looking for water, looking for, you know, north sides and where it's thick, heavy timber, where them elk might want to be when it's warm in the afternoon. So those are all things that are great to do before you get there, and it's just going to help you guys out a ton. And I think social media is a great tool, especially Facebook, with all the groups that are on there. I mean, you can get into elk hunting groups or, you know, whatever you want, kayaking groups, mushroom groups. Like, all these guys have tons of information out there that you can find.
When you see me.
So yeah, now that you have your e-scouting done and your spots marked, time to start packing your gear up, and we're gonna go through my gear dump of my stuff that I have and how I go through all that and my food prep for the week. We are off to get groceries for the trip. Three of them. We need tinfoil to cook our trout in when we catch trout.
Oh, you got me a card.
GoPro.
We're gonna be filming you today, so you know.
Alright.
Look live.
Am I famous?
I think that's this gentleman's card.
If I was famous, I'd have somebody shopping for me.
I've always wanted to be famous.
Name Connor.
Name's Connor, yeah.
Sunday. Alright, we're leaving the death trap called Walmart. I absolutely despise going in there, but we're gonna head home and pack this stuff up. Had a pretty awesome bagger at Walmart. Thanks, Connor. He'll be watching this, he says. So we're gonna go home, get everything divided up into days worth of food and go from there. I pretty much basically have everything that I need. I just have to get some other items. Like we're gonna take some brats and stuff like that to cook by the truck if we end up staying at the truck, but we don't really, we're gonna go in the backcountry for the first couple of days, and then after that we're probably gonna do some bouncing around if we can't find animals and just day hunt it and until we find some animals. So, but I'm gonna pack accordingly, have all my snacks bagged up per day, each day. So all I gotta do is go in my tote and pull out a day's worth of food and I'm good to go. No setting up a camp and messing around. So all caffeinated now?
After I drink this, I will.
Perfect. Each day I get a Snicker. Something new I'm trying this year, keys. Sounds good. So each day I put a whole day's worth of snacks in a bag and then I'll keep that separate. But I'll leave like my lunchtime. I'll have Easy Mac or a ramen. If it's hot, it melts. So I take like little snack bags and put that inside there, otherwise it gets to be a mess. If it gets 90 degrees, not good. Crystal Light packs, and you can dump 2 or 3 in your actual water bladder. Like if you want something like flavor during the day, you can just dump a few of these in there and you can drink a bladder full of lemonade for the day or whatever. But kind of breaks up the monotony of just drinking water the whole entire time. Those for each morning, and then I'll have some leftovers if we're packing meat or whatever. It really, for me, that I don't drink a lot of caffeine, this stuff gets you pretty jacked up. Almond butter. Ooh, we'll go with some. This is probably about 3 years old. I should make sure it's still good. January of 21. Should I risk it?
No, not if you're out in the wilderness.
Nope. Go easy, Matt. Unfortunately, the extra Snickers usually don't make it out there. They get eaten before I go, because I never buy Snickers for myself. 5. I like to get rid of as much of this plastic wrapping. I mean, you imagine this in the woods.
Super
Kind
noisy.
of eliminate all that packaging that you get. I'm excited to have jerky this year. Smell good.
Really?
This will be nice because I eat a lot of fruit at home, and I always miss it when I'm in the mountains. Like, it's all I'm eating is like protein bars and stuff like that. It's like, dang, sometimes it's nice to have some sort of fruit, even if it's covered in sugar.
Well, they're pretty.
That's the main thing, as long as this looks pretty.
Yes, of course. So how many calories do you think is in each bag, like give or take?
With all this, and one of my peak refuel meals is like right around 3,000 calories.
Okay.
And that's what I try to shoot for. Mountain House, peak refuel. These peak refuels are so good. Like, they taste like a home cooked meal. They're really, really good. They're more expensive, but if you check out the calories, 810 calories in just this one meal. It is a 2-serving meal for sure, but that's a ton of calories. These Mountain House ones, I mean, they're like 200 calories. Like, you're not getting much, and you're getting a lot more preservatives and crap in this. So, I mean, that's 4 times what that is. So I have some of these extra from years before I discovered Peak Real Fuel, but I won't eat them when I'm out there if I have Peak. All right, it is gear dump time. I want to show you guys what I have in my pack and how I pack it. So first, let's start off with my bino harness. Of course, I got my Vortex Crossfire HDs in here. One nice thing about these packs is they have a spot for wind checker. I got a lens cloth. And then I keep my calls right in there so I can have easy access to them. And one thing that I found out, I have my rangefinder in here, which is nice, but if you're a right-handed shooter, you're gonna wanna put that on your left side. Because if you draw on your right side, it might hit you on your right side. So that's a good tip for you guys, is it's really nice when you get back to camp, even if you're in the backcountry, to slide these on and take your boots off and let your feet air out. It's just really nice to have at camp, and they weigh next to nothing just to throw on your pack. And also, if you need to do some major river crossings, you don't got to do it in your bare feet. You can just throw these on and walk across. So what I really like about this pack is that the suspension system on the back here is interchangeable with other packs. So I could take this pack and put a 6,000 liter pack on there, or a cubic inch, I'm sorry, not liter, but or I could put a real small one. But this one is kind of the perfect size. Like, if we're in the backcountry and not bivvy style hunting, and we're just, you know, making a drop camp basically by ourselves somewheres. When I dump all my gear out of here, this is super nice, just even for day hiking. It's not too big, not too small. So that's what I really like it. And the padding, the foam keeps that pack off of your back, and when you're sweating, allows that sweat to dry. So that's pretty nice. And I've carried 100-pound loads with this thing, and I'm telling you, it feels like maybe you have 45, 50 pounds on when you got 100 pounds in your pack. But my Phelps Game Calls bugle tube, and then trekking poles. I think we're gonna kill an elk this year, and the extra stability when you're going up the hills and down the hills, and the pressure on your knees, and you know, when you're walking on rocks, just nice to have something to catch your balance, because some of these spots you're in, it's no joke, you fall, you might die. So always a good thing to have those along. The other side, I keep my tent. It's just a Sierra Designs clip flashlight tube. All right, side compartments. So another good tip for you guys going out west is make your stuff accessible. So I basically have my kill kit all in this side, toiletries, and then I got my water pump, stove, and stuff like that that's easy to access on top, and then everything inside is extra clothes and stuff that I'm not going to want to get at a whole lot. I have my food inside, but I put that at the top of the pack so that I'm not digging everything out of my pack every time we're stopping to eat lunch or have a snack. So this is a good little tip. I just got a Gerber boning knife, big heavy knife, and then I got a little old timer, just skinning knife. Game bags, of course, also in there, very important. I put my tag. On the other side, all kinds of goodies in here. Extra broadheads, some Allen wrenches, and a broadhead wrench. Just a couple of loose ones. So I got 6 extra batteries for my GPS. I normally use Onyx the whole time I'm in there, and this is just backup in case I dump my phone or lose my phone. At least I do have a way to navigate. But I go with 2 headlamps. You could probably just do 1, but you know how these things work. They sometimes don't work. So no flashlight wouldn't be very fun if you had a long hike out in the dark. 3 AAA batteries for my headlamps. Another cool thing that I like to do is I have my 2-liter bladder inside of here, which will be full at all times, and then I take an extra 2-liter platypus and I will fill this up and just leave it at my camp. And that way, when I get back every night, I know I have water to cook with. I don't have to take my pack off and see, oh, I gotta save water, oh, I gotta get some water. Then I always have water at camp, which was super, super nice. Of course, my GPS, it's a Garmin 64ST. They're kind of outdated now, but I used it a ton. It does work great for a backup. So I always have that. Paracord for who knows what, clothesline, hanging up your food at camp so bears aren't getting into it. This is kind of a luxury item that I take. It's salt and pepper and some seasoning salt. So if we whack a grouse or something, we got some spices and seasoning. And it's nice sometimes just have a little salt and pepper on whatever you're cooking. Bowstring wax. My rain cover for my actual pack. I probably wouldn't need to bring this because I store everything in dry bags inside my pack, but it could also work for a little temporary shelter if you needed to, if you got a hailstorm or something. And my water cup. This is what I cook in. This is what I boil all my water for all my meals, my dehydrated meals, and my Easy Mac and ramen. So that had something to boil water in. Face paint, of course. This is something that I've had for almost 15 years now, and it's my water pump. It's a Catadine Hiker. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but got a few wet wipes or dude wipes. These are great for taking face paint off at night or just cleaning up. I mean, you walk around in the dusty landscape out there and the wind's blowing. I mean, you're black at the end of the day. But so I'll take one of these and just, you know, wash my face at night or whatever. Teepee, of course. Spoon or a spork and a knife for eating. And this is my toiletry bag. In here I have ibuprofen, spare lighters, chapstick, toothpaste, toothbrush, some Band-Aids. I got some of that Hush Pyro Putty for starting a fire if we need to. Moleskin, which is key. You're gonna want some moleskin for your feet. I got a spare buckle in case a buckle breaks on my pack or something that we need to rig up. I thought that's something that I added this year. So I have a little, it's a sewing kit. There's a couple of buttons in here, a small scissors, which works great for cutting that moleskin into pieces that you need, a needle and a little bit of thread. And then on the outside of it, I took Gorilla Tape and wrapped it around about 6-8 times so that I could have a little tape if I need to be, a little duct tape. And actually we used it a couple times last year, so that was definitely something I used. All right, so now I'm into my big compartment in my pack. And in here I have my fuel for my stove and then my actual cooker. It's just a small little Primus cooker. They make fancier ones with the bigger cups, but they're so bulky. So I like this little guy. He's really small. I've had this for 15 years probably, and it's super reliable. Good tip too is to make sure when you're at home before you leave, test all this stuff out, make sure it works, make sure your water bladders work, make sure your GPS works, new batteries are in all your headlamps, fire up your stove, pump a little water. Make sure all that stuff works before you get there. Because you don't want to be in the backcountry and not have a way to filter water. That would be horrible. But like I said, I just use this little cup to boil my water, and it's kind of small and compact, which it's kind of the big key for out there. And then I also have a lighter in a Ziploc inside of my cook bag, and this is just a little stuff sack, keeps it organized for me. Rain gear. What I like about this Kuiu pack too is they have lots of internal storage also inside the big bag that you can stash stuff. Kuiu makes really nice dry bags too. They're super light. Sleeping pad is pretty key. This is a luxury I don't like going without. This is just a REI air rail. Sleeping bag. I also have my Cocoon air pillow, which I blow up, and that goes with me every day when I'm hunting. So nice if you need a little nap, just to blow that pillow up and something to rest your head on. And last but not least is clothes. So this is all my hunting stuff right here that I'll be wearing almost every day. Over here, this is the only extra clothes that I bring in the backcountry, and that is just a Columbia fleece, pair of long johns, and a backup pair of these First Light socks, and then I throw a winter cap in. As far as what I wear when I'm hunting is a pair of First Light socks, my First Light hat, just a First Light, just a regular merino wool t-shirt. You can see this one's pretty worn, but this merino wool stuff is so nice. I mean, you could be soaking wet, take it off, hang it in a tree, and in half an hour or 40 minutes, it's completely dry. I wore this every day in Colorado and never washed it. And another great thing about merino is that it doesn't stink. It doesn't hold smell very well. I mean, it did start to stink after like 7 days, don't get me wrong, but really helps with the scent control. And I just got their long sleeve t-shirt, long sleeve if I need the fleece, and then just their jacket. I don't remember what jacket this actually is, but this jacket is so warm. Gaiters. That's another key item, I think. A lot of people don't like wearing gaiters, but and then I just have the merino obsidian First Light pants. It was a hard pill to swallow, forking out how much this stuff is. Go look it up, but it's pretty expensive, but I guarantee you'll not be disappointed. I will never buy any other gear besides First Light or merino products, that's for sure. That's pretty much it. Well, I should do the drawing for the hat also. If you went down and commented on my last video on the first elk episode, all your guys' names are going in a hat, and I'm gonna draw one out. And the lucky winner is Steve Schmitz. Thanks for watching, guys. Next episode is gonna be the actual hunt itself, so pretty jacked up about that. We're 1 week out. I'm gonna finish editing this video tonight, and we will see you guys next time. I really appreciate you guys watching, and if you can go down, do me a favor and go hit that subscribe button, and we will see you soon.